Greetings, groovy people. This is the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and I welcome you to this week's Wednesday time lapse. Who are you? Who? I said it wrong. Wow, I've been making a lot of Who references, like the band, for those of you who are not living in the past like me. I didn't even live it. It's not even my past. For those of you who aren't living in other people's past. Speaking of living in the past, I've actually, back there in the background, I am inking an Act 2 redraw page. I'll talk about that in a second. But I named this video Who Are You because this month is Huevember, so there's a lot of challenges that, like, art challenges that are taking place, like, at the end of the year, which is, like, for me, and I know many people, it's not just like a thing specific to me. It's like the busiest time of the year for so many people, but that's when they decide to have these challenges, I guess, because, you know, yeah. Anyway, I guess it sounds better than Huanuary? I don't know. That's really bad. Anyhow, I am not going to be participating in Huevember, but I'm going to pay homage, give a little tip of the hat, by showing you at the end of this video how I kind of took the idea of that and fixed this Act 2 page, because it looked terrible. The colors that I used were terrible, so I'll show you that at the end of the video. But, yeah, so just to let you know, Huevember, for those of you who aren't in the know, basically what you do is word of Wednesday, you pick a hue. Hue is the word of Wednesday. I've said it several times already. It's just a fun word. It's a really short, it's a monosyllabic, short, fun word. I like it. But there's each day of the month, there's a different hue that you're supposed to, it's supposed to be like the main focus or the predominant feature in your work. You can use other hues, you can use other colors. Most of you know hue means color, but your work has to focus on that main color that is set for that day of the month. I'll put the link down in the description if anyone's interested. I know there's a couple artists out there who watch these videos, so if that's something I know it's kind of late for the bandwagon here, but it's never too late to, like, pick and choose, a couple different things you want to do, right? You can get some experience. It's actually a really interesting challenge, and I think it would be great for working on color theory and, having a uniting theme in a piece, and I dig it. I really do. I'm just not doing it this year. I've got too much going on, as I'm sure many other people do. So I've hit a major milestone. This page that I'm inking, as I was telling you guys, it's a fix, a redraw of an Act 2, of the Act 2 opening page for the revamp, and I had to fix it for two reasons, besides the fact that it just looked horrible. One, it was part of finally completing the Act 2 flip, so now all of Act 1 and all of Act 2 and all of Act 3 of the revamp read left to right. Nothing, at least on Tapas, I've updated everything so that is, it all reads left to right. Now, on Comic Theory, I've got a lot more to do, and I'm not going to be able to fix any of those earlier acts until I'm done catching up on the revamp. I've got to make a game plan. That's going to be my New Year's resolution, is making a game plan to get caught up so that I can stop having the old crappy pages on Comic Theory, because it is disrespectful to my first site. Well, not technically my first comic site, but the first actual professional looking site that I had. But the second reason why this was necessary was because I had to finish getting Act 2 ready to go to the printers. Oh my gosh, you guys. It feels so, like, there was a thread a while back on Comic Fury where people were talking about, how excited they were about getting some of their books in print, and let me tell you, it really feels so good to touch and feel something that you've created and somebody else has printed, but that you've created, and you see it and it looks professional. So this was to finish up Act 2 because I am going to be offering Act 1 and Act 2 at Con+Alt+Delete next month at the end of December. So I had to get that done. That's part of why I've been kind of frantically working around, kind of scatterbrained these last few months, because I've been trying to work on basically 3 different things because some of the pages flipped okay, but some of the pages were poorly drawn and not proportioned right, or I had really odd ways of doing the panels and it didn't lend itself well to flipping it, so I had to completely redraw it. So it was like doing 3 comics and updating 3 comics, you know, working on it, because I was doing so much work for that. You know, what I think I'm going to do is this Friday, I'm going to have a video talking about some of my prep work for this convention, and then I think what I'd like to do is have a follow-up video after the convention, and of course I might videotape some of the convention. I've got my dude friend's brother is going to help me man the Blue Dragon art desk, but I want to kind of post this up as kind of a log for me, to discuss, you know, what I learned, you know, what worked for me, what didn't, you know, basically what the experience was, but not just for myself. I mean, I kind of like to use this as like a log for myself, but my hope is also that by sharing this information, it'll, you know, kind of maybe help other people get some ideas, because I've heard conflicting information on whether or not you should, you know, just have fan art, or whether you should have original art pieces. You know, I've kind of heard mixed information. Of course, my art's not the best, so it's probably not going to be, you know, like the best example of that, but I thought I would share my experience, and maybe in that way, if anybody out there, like I said, I think some of you guys are artists, so maybe that would help you if you ever intend to go to a convention. And if you have already done that, and, you know, been at like the Artist Alley, and you have any comments or tips or anything to do with your experience, or even if you just attended and there were specific artists that you like, if you want to share that down in the comments, please feel free to. I certainly would like to, you know, have like a dialogue going about that, if anyone has that experience. But yeah, that's what this video's on Friday is going to be about. I think I'm going to show some of the stuff that I'm going to be offering. I mean, yeah, it's kind of an advertisement, but most of you guys probably aren't going to be there, so it's really more so to just get some ideas going and kind of show you what I'm doing, and maybe that can influence people. So this video is kind of all over the place. I'm a little bit drained today. We had a friend who's already moved out to Oregon. He was coming back to visit his family, so we went out last night, and then I relaxed a little bit too much last night. We were playing Broforce and having some nightcaps, so I'm a little bit drained today. It's my own fault. I shouldn't have done it. I'm getting too old for that. But anyway, yeah, I'm all over the place with this video, but I had initially planned to do something else with the video, which is going to be a special surprise for next week instead. I'm going to go living in the past. I was talking about that at the beginning of the video. We're going to bring it on back to the end here, because next Wednesday I'm going to be sketching a special image that's going to be only accessible in the Act 2 print version and the PDF version of the books, and also I'm going to share it, I think, on Patreon with my blog patrons at the $3 level. So those are the only ways you're going to be able to see the finished product of this image that I'm sketching next week. And I'm going to be revisiting the early days of Dark Horse and kind of talking about how it all began. You know, I'm going to be showing off a few sketches, you know, some of the early drawings that are absolutely horrible. So yeah, you can make fun of, you know, if you think my art's bad now, you can see what it looked like back then, and you can just make fun of it. No, you guys are all so nice. Nobody's made fun of anything. I just like to make fun of myself. It's fun. It's fun to laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously. So yeah, please join me next week for that. And join me Friday if you want to see any of the stuff that I've been working on and, you know, get your juices flowing. The question of the week: if there was anything you got a chance to redo, much like how I was redoing this image of Act 2, what would it be? Answer that question however you want. Let your imagination fly with it. Yeah. So, alright, so if you like what you see and you want to, you know, show your support, there are donation links down below. I've got a Ko-fi account now. I've got Patreon, Subscribestar, all that stuff. Or you can also help out by liking, subbing, doing the bell thing. There's all kinds of stuff you gotta do now. You gotta jump through so many hoops to get the videos you wanna watch. In watching the video all the way through, those are all great ways to show your support without having to, you know, don't use any monetary stuff. I don't know. That's a really bad way of wording it. Thank you to my patrons, by the way. You guys are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you all next time. Peace and love. Fare you well. And keep on trucking.